Hello, Star Citizens. Buzzkiller here, and welcome back. So, the last ship series we have for Alpha 3.3 is the Mustang rework. Now, I saved this one for last because the Mustang Alpha was having some issues loading into Arena Commander and into the universe, but they finally got it fixed, so here we go. So, the Mustang Alpha is, of course, a starter ship. This is a light freight ship that's been around. It's the second starter ship to be released, so it's been around for quite a while. And yeah, this thing has been completely overhauled. It looks pretty cool. Let's go ahead and jump out of the cockpit here. And we'll take a look around. All the ships now have access through the canopy, which is much better than the original entryway for these ships, which was through a central hatch in the belly. And those things, they were buggy, they never worked right, and they're just very clunky. It took forever to get in and out. It just was not a good solution. This is much better as a entry and exit method. The ship itself looks fantastic. They've completely updated it. Pretty much no component was left unchanged in this ship. A lot of really cool details in it. You can see this one's kind of scratched up. Eventually, of course, you'll have mechanics in the game that will show the wear and tear on your ships. And this looks like it's somewhere in the middle there. It's probably pretty close to needing a tune-up. But you can see some of the paint's kind of faded off of it. Or it's got dirt and grime. It's actually pretty cool. So, the Mustang Alpha is a light freight starter. This is, so it's got a small cargo hold in the back. And I'll go ahead and open it up because it is at least functional in that the animation works now. The old one had one like this, an elevator, but it didn't move. And it looked like it was designed to carry a store-all box. This one looks like it carries 4 of these medium-sized crates here. And these crates look like they could carry 4 of the single SU cargo crates that you usually carry around for missions. Which would be nice if it actually opened and you could place something in here. But unfortunately, no, you cannot. So right now, both the starter ships are unusable when it comes to actual missions in the current game, which is kind of sad, actually, because it's the ship that most people have is either the Mustang Alpha or the Aurora. The Aurora, by far, is the most common ship for people to have, and neither of them can be used for simple pick up and deliver missions in the verse. So, missed opportunity there by CIG. If you want a ship that you can actually use for missions like that, you'll have to upgrade to, I'd say, go for an Avenger Titan. Best bang for your buck ship out there still. So yeah, the design, though, is spectacular. I mean, this thing looks amazing. It's got a lot of cues from the original ship, but it's all been updated. Very nice details. Let's go ahead and jump in. Oh, weapon-wise, almost all of the ships, except for the racers, have the little chin turret with 2, I think these are size 1, maybe size 2 bearing laser cannons. So not much in the way of armament, but they are on a gimbaled mount, so maybe, I don't know if you can remove that and maybe put a bigger weapon on there. I don't think so. I think they've pretty much done away with that when it comes to the dual turrets like this. But yeah, not very well armed. Definitely not very well armored. But let's go ahead and jump in. And get the ship off the pad. I left the cargo bay open. I wonder if I can close that with the button. Well, I can. Nice. All right. So the biggest change, of course, has come with the landing gear. Gone are the wing-mounted landing struts. You can just see the vestiges of them on the wingtips. But yeah, now we've got wheeled landing gear, kind of like an M50. They've got a pretty cool folding system where you see the wheels kind of turn sideways in the back. And then those interesting doors are cool. But of course, the wings fold down and you get that classic Mustang shape, just well updated. A huge glass canopy, and you've got all that room behind the cockpit. Wasted space, unfortunately, in the Alpha because you cannot access it. Oh, well. Yeah. But let's go check out some of the other variants. Before we do, let's go ahead and take her up to speed here. So the top SCM speed for the Alpha is 255. Which is, I think it's the fastest of the non-racers. So that's pretty nice. Okay, let's move on to the next variant. Okay, here we are in the Mustang Beta. Before I take a look at the outside, I just wanted to comment on the viewing angles of the Mustang series. The Mustang has always been known for excellent viewing angles, and those are still here. The only difference is the main cockpit, or the main control panel here, is a little bit bigger. It has to be for the new menu system. But yeah, that blocks a little bit of the view. But other than that, it's pretty much unparalleled in out of the canopy view. Really nice. Let's go ahead and check out the exterior real quick. Not much difference here. Got a little bit of a bug with landing gear. Let me fix that. But yeah, not much difference on the exterior except for a flashy paint job. I love this paint job. I love the blue and the yellow. It's a very nice color combination. Let me get a little bit more zoom here. But of course, this one does not have the cargo area. That is instead taken up with the living accommodations in the back of the ship. So let's go ahead and check those out. Okay, so in the back you have a nice little cabin. You've got your basics. You've got a cot. You've got a sink. You've got a single burner stove, a few cabinets that do not open in this version. You've got some component access back here. And you have your combination toilet and shower. So, very nice, very utilitarian. It's just perfect for one person to go out on their own on a long distance trip. Let's move on. Next up, we have the fighter variant. This is the Mustang Delta. It has some extra armor that the other Mustangs don't have, which is to say, it has slightly thicker paper. None of the Mustangs have much durability. They're pretty weak. You can see an extra texture on here. It kind of looks like they pulled the texture from the Avenger, the little honeycomb texture, one that I'm not really fond of to begin with. So yeah, I'm not too thrilled with the look of the armor. But I like the green paint job, and it does have plenty of weapons. It has the standard turret. Sorry, we've got that landing gear bug again. It does have the standard turret on the front. It has some size 1 repeaters on the inner hardpoint, and on the outer hardpoint you have the infamous rocket launcher, which, yes, it does work.
Landing gear retracted.
So this is the slowest of the Mustang variants. The Delta, the Beta does 250. The Alpha does 255. This one does 240. I guess it's that extra armor. But you see, firing group 1 fires the repeaters and the cannons, while fire group 2 fires your dumbfire missiles. Dumbfire rockets, I guess you'd call them. And like all the Mustang variants, it's extremely agile. So much so that you really quickly hit your G-safe limiter. Speaking of speed, though, let's take a look at the racing variants. So when it comes to the racing variants, we have 2 of them. The first is the one that everyone can buy at any time, and that is the Gamma. And again, very, very nice paint job on this one. I like the baby blue, and I really love the metallic candy blue highlights. It's very, very nice looking, almost iridescent. We've got some sponsorships all over the ship. We have Klaus and Werner, Kovalex, Fuel Pump. I'd never heard of that before. Meridian Transit. I think one other, Tarsus, I think is on there. There it is. Yep, Tarsus on the bottom. And with the racers, what you have instead of the cargo area on the Alpha or the living quarters in the Beta, you have a third engine. So these things are designed to move. They do not have the chin turret. As you can see, the chin turret is gone. Well, let me get a good angle. The chin turret is gone, but it does have 2 wing-mounted cannons, size 1 fixed. But this is not a combat ship. This is designed for one thing, and that is to go fast and be nimble. And it does that quite well. Top SCM speed is 325, plus a very responsive afterburner. And again, super nimble. You hit G-safe so fast on this ship, it's ridiculous. The final variant that I'm going to show you today is the second racer, and this is the limited edition Mustang Omega. This one was given away as a free ship when you bought an AMD graphics card. It's come back, I think, once before. I don't know if the new graphics cards are still coming with these or not, but they're a fairly rare ship in the game. You don't see them very often. They're really nice red paint job, but physically it is the exact same ship as the Gamma, whereas the original Mustang, this one had an extra fuel scoop and slightly different recharge rates. For the game, as of right now, this is the exact same ship as the Gamma, just a slight reskin. And again, a few endorsements on there. Really nice looking. Maybe worth having just as a collectible item. But, I mean, really, if you're going to buy a Mustang, probably the best Mustang is the Racer. It's the most competitive of all the Mustangs, I think. It's not very expensive, but it's plenty fast, and you can actually race competently in these. Whereas the starter ship, you can't do starter missions. The fighter is not very robust. I'm sure there's some great pilots out there that can probably wring a little bit out of it, but I'm not one of them. And I don't know, the Beta, I don't know, that might work pretty well. It's got extended range, I guess. Yeah. If it were me, the only Mustang I would buy would really probably be the Racer. There is one other variant that I have not shown you. It's because it's not an Arena Commander. I don't know if it's in the universe. I haven't been able to find it. But it's the Mustang Alpha Vindicator, and it's basically another reskin of the Mustang Alpha. I don't know if it has different weapons or what. Maybe I'll do an extra video on that once I do get my hands on it. But it's a collectible Citizen Con ship, kind of like the Aegis Valkyrie Liberator. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this look at the reworked Mustang. Until next time, this has been Buzzkiller, and I'll see you in the verse.
Self-destruct activated. Evacuate. Evacuate.